Hello everybody, welcome to Academy Live episode 22.
22.
Oh, yes. I'm going to see how long you can actually keep up your fingers going in the
when
right
you
way.
are at number 1205, then it will take more than an hour, so that's the limit.
Today we're not alone. Today we have actually a guest, Göran Maren. Hello, welcome.
Thank you very much, Anders.
And for those of you who don't know Göran is Göran. But he is also, besides being Göran most of the days, he is the father of B10. And father is, I think that's a good description, and not the mother of B10. Because normally, for those, since all of us, we have kids, we always know there's only one mother, but there can be many fathers, or that are suspicious to be fathers. And I think I would say that a project like the B10 is the same thing. It's not a one-man show.
No, definitely. It's a team effort.
Yeah. And it's close to, I would say, almost everybody at the Profoto office is involved one way or the other during a big launch like the B10.
Yeah, in different stages.
Yeah.
Of course, it starts with an idea.
Yeah.
In this case, I might have been the
originator.
The originator of the initial idea, but then we developed the idea together as a team, and then of course it's the whole process of developing and eventually launching the product, which is a long
process.
Effort, yeah.
But your role in this project, you are the project.
Well, as a product manager, I am the product owner of a certain product, like in this case the B10, and I'm also business responsible for a part of our product portfolio.
Okay.
So this means that I initiate maybe a new product that we need to bring into the portfolio.
Okay,
and I also
so you are the guy that I can infect with new ideas.
Yeah, please hit me with ideas.
Cool. That's cool. But you've been with Profoto for like 15 years?
15 years now.
That's, so
not in this role.
No, but in different roles and being part of many different products and development of them. And we can show maybe some of the highlights that you've been working on.
You want to show them?
I can.
Yeah, no, David can be the.
I can be the. I can be the one
who. Just a few
who.
examples. Maybe you know this one, the B1.
That's right. Yeah.
And or in this case, the B1X.
Was this one of these ideas you had? Like you were the father of, or you part of the?
No, this was actually not my initial idea, but I was driving the process of getting it to the market.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't come up with all the great ideas. I wish I could say that. But
I do can see where you get the inspiration from for the B10 around here.
Yeah, I mean. For us, this, and I think for the lighting industry as a whole, this was quite a unique new concept of removing the cords of a studio flash and putting the battery in it, and also adding TTL, which I think never happened before that.
Oh, that's true. That's true, because we always had TTL only in speed lights and so forth.
Yes, and I don't know if everyone knows what TTL is, but
we've gone through it. For those of you who don't know, you got 21 episodes to go through. No.
Yeah. Well, TTL is the automatic power setting stuff like so the flash can measure by itself how much power it should have to create a beautiful exposure.
Kind of like the autofocus for light.
Auto power.
Yeah, auto power.
Auto power. Or TTL.
Yeah, and that was a big success. Was really revolutionary. I mean, you were very active at the time when the B10 came.
Yeah.
And for you, it was also kind of mind-blowing, right?
You mean the
B1?
The B1. Yeah, I was very exactly. This changed my way of working. Actually, before I always was dragging around the Pro 10s and such. When that one came, it totally changed my way of working. So this was a really big game changer for me. Yeah. So thank you for this one.
Yeah. And then of course all of you out there, if you have questions, ask them. I'll be going over here checking questions.
questions.
We have a lot of
over there.
hellos from all over. We got Maine, we got UK, we got Spain, Sweden, of course, as well. Awesome. So we got plenty of people. Hello, everybody. And then you were done with that one. And then
yeah, we can bring in some other example. We can bring in
the big
a bigger
boy.
chunk, the Pro 10.
Yes. And this is the Pro 10 of the studio, and I noticed that it's kind of dirty. We forgot to clean this. We've had a couple of busy days with productions here in the studio, both portraits and some videos, etc. So sorry for that.
Yeah, and this is something completely different. This is more like a flagship model, and it's, well, you know, this is a studio product.
A workhorse.
A workhorse and very common in rental studios.
Yeah.
If you go and rent your lights,
It's sturdy and it can take some beating, but not all the beating, but some.
Yeah, a lot of beating.
Yeah, it can take a lot of beating. I actually abuse them a lot here in the studio as well. And I must say, once you try these, it's hard to go back to something else, because it's like driving a Formula One car. All of a sudden you have all the different parameters that you normally have to compromise on, something like fast recycling time or short flash duration or a lot of power. There's always some compromises, but this one has no compromises. It just
No, exactly, no compromises, and it even has the weight.
Yes, it's like 13 kilos, right?
Yeah, that's the one compromise.
Yeah,
Yes.
13 kilos.
Yeah.
So if you can live with that, then.
But then so why are we showing that one? The cool thing is with the Profoto system, if you have, let's say you have an A1 and then maybe you bought the B10, and then you get this great idea, I want to try this big something project, and you need some power. Those are available in, I would say, for rentals. So you can go in and you can rent one for a day or two, or a week or a month, but you can rent them, and then everything plays together. You have this whole ecosystem, which is really cool, that you can use your A1, the remote bit which is built in the A1, and control that beast, which I think is just awesome.
That is cool.
Even if you don't have to buy them, even though my kids, I think that's going to be the Christmas present of the year in our household.
This one?
Yeah, yes, everybody gets one of those.
Yeah.
And I will, of course, take care of them, but they cannot touch them, but they can look at them. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so it is really, really easy to rent products if you feel that you want to do something more, and so you don't have to buy them.
Exactly. Do not be afraid to rent. I
Yeah.
think that photographers, compared to video guys, in video you always rent everything. But
Everything.
photographers are so, they want to own everything and they are afraid to rent. But I mean, that piece of equipment is perfect just to rent for a day.
Then
Exactly.
it's perfect if you want to try something out.
Yes.
You want to see if this is something I would use in my daily work
Yeah.
as a photographer.
And then also it's
Rent it and try it.
fun every now and then to drive a Formula One car,
Yeah,
because
of course.
it is a thrill.
Yeah. Actually, what I use this one for all the time is when I do my shoots indoors, and I have windows, and then I have a flash outside that is the sun. This is the sun for me. Really far away, really powerful, pounding through the windows and light up the whole setting inside. So then I use things like this.
And you don't normally put them almost like on the other side of the street,
Absolutely.
of the building.
Far, far away.
And why do you put it far away? What happens inside the office?
Oh,
Is there a reason
yes,
for it?
actually, there is a reason. I put my lights really far away because the further away I have it, there's two things that is happening. First, we have the shadows, all the casted shadows that will come from the light outside. The angle of the shadows will be parallel, or at least more parallel, like from the sun. Because if you have the light really close, all shadows will be diverging like this. Yeah, and it will look really fake. It will look like he has a flash there. So by putting it really far away, I get all the shadows to be parallel. That's really important. And other really important thing is that you get a much longer depth of light. You have the same power of light in depth-wise, so to speak.
So people can move
Exactly.
in different parts of the office and still have the same amount of light on
And this
them.
makes the light inside for me like a I turned off the light with my hands there. Actually, that makes the exposure inside the
I'm
same.
going to go in.
When I have this long depth of light, it's like shooting documentary, but it's with flash.
Okay.
So then I can create beautiful natural light images, but with
Are you connected?
flash.
Yes,
Yes.
connected.
So the
Cool.
Pro 10.
And then, yeah, there was the Pro 10, and but the Pro 10 has a little brother.
It has a little brother over here,
Oh, the B2.
the B2.
Exactly.
Yes.
Is that also something you've been
It should
part
be-
of?
It's like Anders mentioned in the beginning, more or less everyone in Profoto
Yeah.
are involved in some way in all new product launches. And I was involved in this too, but I was not in the role
In the driving seat.
in the driving seat.
yeah.
No. But it's also a product that has been developed and launched during my time here. So.
Yeah. Well, I think most active products that we are selling have been developed during your
During the
time.
last 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this one has a head that you.
Yeah, it's like a mini version of the Pro 10. We didn't show you the head for the Pro 10,
Yeah.
but it's a power pack with individual heads, and you can connect up to 2 heads to the B2.
And a lot of people think that, oh, this is the power bank, this is the battery. But it's not, it's only this part,
That part is battery.
the battery,
yeah.
and the rest here is the generator where you have the capacitors and all the cool stuff that we talked about 1 or 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, 1 or 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. And so. all
Which
that-
makes the head really small.
Yeah, that's the
And lightweight.
Yeah.
That's the big benefit of having this kind of setup. Even though it gets more and more uncommon with the pack and head, especially for applications where this would normally be used. And that's partially why we started the project to launch the B10.
Cool, which is your latest baby.
Yes,
And
that's why we're here.
also, but
Also,
David and I, we're kind of interested in anything that's
Everything.
Everything that's black and goes poof.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter what says on it. We use them all. But yes, the B10. So far, the market has been and accepted it fantastically. I mean, it's been a lot of raving good reviews, and people are excited about the product. But what I'm curious about is how long does it take, ballparkish? I know it's different from one product to the other, but ballparkish, from idea to you actually have it launched in store.
Well,
Or
I
are we
would-
talking about 15 minutes, 2 weeks, or is it
No,
a full
I wish,
month?
I wish. No, but it of course depends on the type of project it is. For a project like this, which is both kind of complex in terms of the technology we use, and also for us a bit of a new concept. Then in this case, it took from we had the idea and decided we actually want to do it until we had now the launch. It was around 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah,
2.5, 3 years.
Yes.
it's just
So it's a very long process. But of course, some projects are a lot faster than that. And I haven't so far experienced any project that has been so much longer than that. That's
yeah.
probably
Okay.
the max.
Yeah.
It's
So if you compare with like the A1, is it how long was the A1?
Well, the A1 was very similar. It was also around 2.5 to 3 years.
2.5 to 3 years. Okay. I know that there are companies that are like copying stuff, and I don't think they have 2 to 3 years. And I suspect that there's really a lot of stuff going on inside here that is a bit more work to it. I mean, since it takes 2 to 3 years to create.
Yes, of course, and it's a lot of extensive testing. We want to make really sure that it's good enough to have Profoto on it before we press the launch button.
Yeah.
And that takes time. So it's both the conceptual thing of actually bringing everything together conceptually until it's something that this is how we want to package it, and then working through all of the details and getting it into a production, getting it sellable in all the markets where we launch. We need to have some specific certifications and so on. So, and of course, depending on how much we believe that we will sell, we need to secure that we have components to run the production accordingly.
Yeah. Because I mean, a product like this, I mean, there's so many different types of, not only, I mean, first of all, different types of engineers, mechanical, software, electrical engineers, etc., involved. And then you have all the rest of the Profoto with project management, purchasing, and
and everything that's not Profoto too. I mean, we have, if you look at the supply chain, I wouldn't even be able to count all of the different contributors to actually both developing and manufacturing a product like this.
But the funny thing is that, I mean, I've been around for a couple of launch days at Profoto. It's so fun to see when you press the button and you go live on the web, that now, boom, it's out. Oh, excuse me. The pride that everybody feels over a product. Because there's a lot of hard work in those, and everybody has been involved one way or the, touched the process somewhere, and it's kind of like this relief that finally it's out there.
When I used to take product portraits of all the new stuff,
and you still do, I think.
And
you haven't been fired yet, so not that I know.
It works. But I think it's really interesting because when I'm like here in the studio here, and we have all this rig set up to do the shoots, and it's so fun when the R&D people come in here to see their baby in this beautiful light. It's always like they are like, oh, that is always so. You can really feel the passion that I think that you guys have behind all your products.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
There is a lot of passion in those, and I also just remembered, next product you shoot, we have to record and make a little time lapse and make that an Academy Live that we send.
Yep.
When
episode.
An episode, yeah.
So.
And so, because that's for me at least a pretty interesting process to see you shoot products.
Yeah, it's
a lot of flags and a lot of pieces of paper and 2 million different light stands, and it's just so complex but fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of light stands.
It's gradient heaven.
Yep, gradient heaven, exactly.
So back to this baby, I know that Profoto invests a considerable amount of their revenue every year into R&D, because these are costly projects with not only the people but also the components that go in there. And can you tell me a little bit about what type of challenges do you run into when you work on a project like that? I mean, because at the end of the day, there's always you can blame a lot of people, but there's always one neck that will be choked when something goes wrong, and it's yours. So
far, my neck is
it's still there, yeah. But what kind of challenges do you typically can run into?
Well, I mean, you can run into any type of challenge, and the biggest challenge is that you never really know what challenge you're going to run into when you start something new. But of course, sometimes you do something you've done before, and then you can kind of expect what you're going to run into, and sometimes you do something completely different. In this case, I think the biggest challenge for us as a company and internally was to move away from a mindset of making a product that has the specification without any type of you said like the Pro 10.
Yeah.
That you don't we didn't really make any sacrifices on the specification except from the weight. Yeah. And in this case, the biggest challenge was to keep it super small and super lightweight, and to prioritize that instead of the specification. It's always, I mean, if you do a new product, it's always about focus.
Yeah.
And what is the main focus when designing this product? And then the main focus here has been, of course, with set of specs which has been, you know, this has to be it, like it has to be this much light and so, but to keep that size and weight.
And I don't recommend you guys to do it, to open one and look how it looks inside, but I've seen some on the benches and it's jam-packed. I mean, there's like hardly no air in it, and so it's a lot of components in there.
And I suppose it's a lot of ingenious solutions to solve all those problems that comes with a small package.
Yes, of course. It's packed with a lot of ingenious solutions.
Yeah.
They don't come from me. They come from all the passionate people involved in the design.
Yeah.
So they had to pull up some new tricks.
And then there's some small things like when you look at it, it looks kind of tight, and I was like, but where normally you have like this grid with where you suck in air to cool things down, as we talked about the other episode, you have plasma and there's a lot of stuff happening in here, so a lot of energy. But where does the air come in? And then someone pointed out that here, that's where you have the holes.
Oh. Yes, that's
and
one part, and it's also one which is hidden in it.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks in at one and then blows out in the other. And it's just so small that you can't really see it.
Cool.
But that also brings to one question that has popped up. So are we looking at water-sealed products? Well, first of all, I mean, we can't comment on future products, but in general, there are some challenges with electricity and water.
Yes,
there is. It's like yeah, and as we all know from the episode about how a flash works, in order to get the plasma lit up inside the tube, you need a lot of energy, more than you can get from the mains outlet. That's why we pop it into a capacitor, and then once the bucket is filled, then poof, we send
a
out
lot
some.
of powers.
So no tongues in here. That's bad. It's a bad idea. So in general, it is difficult. But the good thing with if you are like in a very short period of time, if you're out shooting and there might be some rain, I mean, you can cover it with something just for a short period of time, just finish maybe a couple of shots and then bring it in. It's not so critical that it will overheat in 1 second. I mean, it's not at that border, so you can cover it to protect it, and so you can pop things in, because at least in Sweden you get a lot of surprise rain, and but it's not recommended in general to work with them outside.
I used to have an umbrella over them,
and
a simple umbrella,
yeah,
clamped on the stand below and umbrella over. Works fine.
You always have so many smart ideas.
I do. I have an umbrella
to
over.
Use an umbrella for.
Yes,
for
rain.
that's really smart.
That is a really smart.
I don't know where I get it.
You're a genius.
Yeah. Actually, when we are out shooting, umbrella thing, that's one thing, or as you said, with a plastic bag or something, just for a short period of time, works just fine. And actually, if you have the plastic bag over here,
diffusion.
Yeah, then we got diffusion.
Nice.
Yeah. And if you have a green plastic bag over there, you got
gel.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, but of course, we get a lot of requests for different every day, and if we had the capacity, we would make them all.
Yeah.
But I think if we do it right, and we make it, if we do it right, and we are able to sell enough of these products, there are a lot of accessory manufacturers too that can pick up on these ideas and make great accessories. So that's actually something I kind of expect for this, because it's such an accessible product, and hopefully it will sell a lot.
Yeah.
And then we will see a lot of third-party manufacturers also coming up with a lot of smart solutions that we don't have the time or the bandwidth to focus on, which will make it even an even better solution in the end.
Yeah. I mean, this is 10 centimeters, 100 millimeter diameter. So if I would 3D print in my office a ring with a small umbrella holder and an umbrella, then you won't be mad at me.
No. No, I would compliment you.
I will do that.
So,
Yeah, send me the picture.
Yeah.
yeah, and I know that there's a long list of different projects and different ideas and so forth, and you keep on moving things up and down depending on what's happening on the market and resources and how much David and I whine on certain things, and then things might pop up and get higher priority, and but there's a lot of exciting. We're not done with this one. It's still more exciting
this
stuff.
just hit the market, so
Yeah.
I believe we will see a lot of cool, great accessories within the next.
Well, I think the
half year,
Profoto
yeah.
has a lot of cool accessories.
We have a lot. We have. I mean, we have a huge system, but we don't have everything.
Yeah.
And we know that, and we can't. We know we can't make everything. We shouldn't. We
No,
should
we
focus on
exactly.
what we're good at. But
making
then there
black
are
things
other
that go
ones
poof.
yeah. Then there are other ones that can add on to that, of course.
Yeah.
And hopefully a lot.
And
Yeah.
and I know that we've done some testing with the products, and we have some episodes as well where we look at the output, and it's not about watt seconds, it's actually how efficiently you can get light out of it and so forth. And so far we haven't really run into anything that we feel are limiting.
No, on the contrary, I would say, like if you compare this one to the B2, you actually get more power out of this one, even though it's the same amount of, it's 250 watt seconds in both of them. But you get more output. I don't know how you do it, but something in there happens.
Well, there is a
That's a secret, maybe.
No, it's not. But of course, that's one of the benefits of having everything packed into one piece as well, instead of having a power pack and then a separate head. The power pack head thing is good because you get an even smaller head, even though this is not much bigger than a B2 head. We can place them side by side, so you can see. I mean, the total package here is a lot smaller than the total package here, but head-wise, this is still a little bit smaller. So that's the benefit of this one. But on the other hand, like if you mentioned the light output, we don't get any power loss.
Yeah, because there's a
loss
resistance
in the cable. Yeah,
yeah.
there's a 2-meter cable here that consumes power just by being a long cable. So here everything is connected in one piece, and we get all the light straight into the flash tube, and all the light on your model.
Yeah.
Whatever you shoot.
Yeah, whatever you shoot.
And you also mentioned one thing that you have to do a lot of certification. I mean, we do testing, but we do kind of the fun photography testing and real life. But we also have a laboratory, which is kind of cruel because there's like a certain area for drop tests, and there's I remember when we
don't drop it over there, drop it over here. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's kind of cooler area to drop it on. But also when we did the A1, in order to kind of try the durability, they bought a concrete blender, one of those big cylinders that that turns, and then they popped in A1 in there and said, okay, so how long can it go until it breaks, and different twisting devices.
Have you seen the episode, the YouTube channel about Will It Blend, when they have a mixer
exactly,
when they blend the stuff? That is a new version of that.
Yeah, exactly.
How long will it last? It's really long episodes, but
maybe we should try that. We do a new YouTube channel. Will it mix? But then, so that's another type of testing where you check that, make sure that you can twist and turn different heads and so forth. But then you had all the safety testing, like CE test certification and so forth. And there's a lot of bureaucracy and forms that has to be filled in, and different rules in different countries, and which also takes time.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, which is important, and not only important to get the right paper, but also for safety. Because if you put this one in my hand, I want to make sure that I don't get killed. Right? That's a good thing normally.
Yeah. If we did it, we would have made something wrong in the process. For sure.
So when you came up with this idea, we can take the.
I will take this one.
When you came up with the B10 idea, what did you feel was the purpose? Why did it have to be small, and what was the purpose with this product?
Well, we wanted to create something, and we say this is in marketing too, that it's a big light in a small package. And that's really what we wanted to achieve, something that you can use creatively, like a big light, but taking up so little space in your bag or whatever you carry it into, so you can bring your creativity everywhere.
Yeah.
And not be confined in a studio environment or just go outside, but really be creative anywhere you go with light. I mean, that's our passion.
Yeah, and then it doesn't matter if you're wedding photographer or you're hobby photographer or complex light photographer like David. I mean, it's really
no. I think one of the good things of having a light like this in this kind of package, that it really inspires new applications, maybe applications that we even didn't think of. I actually got an email this morning from a guy in France, I think it was, who did butterfly photography and insect photography, and he found that the B10 was perfect for the work he did, and he used some kind of special light source before. So and I think, I mean, this is just one example, of course, but I think that's a core of what we want to achieve, to inspire new ways of being creative with light, and having a package which is as accessible like this, and everyone can see themselves, or I think more people can find themselves bring this to location and play with light, and to bring maybe the 30 kilo Pro 10. It takes some more, maybe a different
logistics around it.
Logistics around it.
Because whenever I go and shoot with David, we have big bags, big carriers, and then we also have a big thing on wheels that goes on diesel to get to electricity and so forth.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole different logistics around those.
And even though I bring a lot of these with me, with a big truck driving everything, I still can pop in a couple of these.
Yeah, and then sometimes, I mean, we
they
shot
fit in a truck too.
They do. They do. Even in the front seat. Right?
But now I'm not being fair to you, as you always bring a lot of stuff. Because I remember when you were shooting Peter Forsberg, the fantastic hockey player. Remember what we had?
Yeah. I think we had 2 A1s.
But at the end of the day, we ended up using one.
Yeah. Of course, you only use what you need to get the best.
And I had the honor to be the valves, the voice-activated light stand. Yes. I was so proud. It was my proudest moment.
Yes, like this.
Yes.
Mr. Forsberg, could you please don't move, I move.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know that you were involved in this. I love this one, a small Magnum. The OCF Zoom. And the Magnum too.
Yeah. And that also, it's actually evolving around the same concept of making stuff easy to bring. So, for instance, you can put this on to the B10 like this, and basically it doesn't take up any space at all in your bag.
Suddenly you saved me this much space in my bag, thank you.
Yeah, so you can bring something else because you like to bring stuff.
That's a really good party trick, actually. If you go to a party with David and me, I mean,
then
we go, wow.
Do like that. And I think that was also a kind of a genius thing to be able to remove the handle.
Yeah, to remove it, to make it easier to pack. And also to allow you to put the B10 on some other stand, sort, or grip that you can use, so you can place it in creative positions wherever you want to place it.
That is actually a good example of that you had from the beginning, the design concept of it has to be small, I think that would be something that you wouldn't even think of if you didn't have that, rule from the beginning.
No, because it makes it a bit more complex in designing, but since we had that as a priority, we did it.
Exactly.
We have some questions coming in.
Okay.
One question was what type of light, and if it was LED light, etc. It's the modeling light is LED.
Or we call it a continuous light for the B.
Yes. the continuous light.
Mm.
And then the flash tube is a regular flash tube with xenon gas and then a lot of energy.
Goes boom.
It goes boof, yeah, which we like.
Yeah.
But then also there were a lot of questions around, can you use non-OCF light shapers on the B10?
Yes, you can. I would say for boxes, it's a weight restriction, so then I would recommend having some other tilt mount on it. But in general, most light shapers fit.
But like a 2x3, my standard softbox.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
problem
And then
at all.
also
It works well.
we did a test with the really big ones, which is a 4x6. And thanks to the inner diffusion, because you have an inner diffusion, that actually helps to fill the holes. We had exactly the same measures as we had with the Pro head with an extruding light bulb.
We have made so many episodes.
Yes.
Yes,
We've
that's
done
episode 18 or something.
Yeah. So it really, you can use it. And there are only one or two that you can't use with it. And there was also one question if you can put a Fresnel on it. And yes, you can, absolutely. You have both the Pro Fresnel or you can use, if it's still out there, some guys might be able to find the Cine reflector, which you can put Fresnels on it. And there's an older product that was available, Fresnel small. So you just go on eBay or similar and you'll be able to find them. So absolutely that works. And I've tried them and they work well. And I think that was one of the first things we did when we got this hand. We put it in a Pro Fresnel, playing around with the depth of light.
Yeah, actually, I can pop in something, a third-party thing too. Interesting. Yeah. If you put the umbrella reflector on, the small umbrella reflector. If you have that on, then you can put the Dido light, DP. Their lens. How do you say that? Projection lens on. It isn't perfect, but it works. So then you can have like the multi-spot, but a lot cheaper. But you won't have the same control, but it works.
Yeah. That works. And we had
buy the multi-spot.
There were some questions. One thing that you can do with the continuous light is that you can also use it for video. I mean, we are lit by B10's. And if you see any cool kickers somewhere on your glossy forehead or my hair here.
Your nice hair.
Exactly. So those kickers are actually from a B10, and then we have the main light coming from front.
Yeah, one from just straight on from front, and up there in a corner a B10 to create this beautiful hair light on Anders.
Because we can't just have regular flat light from forward.
And I think that you should be able to control them from your phone, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to change the temperature, we can go really cold, like this. We can look really sick and it's gray, or we can go really warm. And I'm doing that with the app on my phone, so I'm controlling both of them, so we can be really warm and
I think that for a video guy like me, I shoot a lot of video. The B10's are really, this function to be able to communicate with the flashes remotely is kind of cool. It's kind of great, instead of having to go there and change everything.
And also, if I don't like the kicker on Göran's face, I can just go like this. And if I don't like your face, I can go like this.
So now we're black?
You have so much power. Actually, I think that that flash, the main light on us, it is mixed with this light we have in the room, the ambient light. And the color temperature, you changed it so we have the same temperature from the light from the B10. That is also really cool to be able to do that from the phone, so you can be here and just watch what you're doing and see when the color is matching.
Yeah. And then I know there are some questions around, so are we going to develop apps for Android and for legacy iPhones and so forth? So I don't know how much we allowed to say about that.
We can't come, but of course we have an ambition to develop the system, and when and how that...
We don't know. Yeah.
No,
but in general, if you look at other apps or other manufacturers of app technology. It's a lot of people start with the iOS, and then after that they move into Android. I don't know why, but that was just an observation that I've.
You are
had
so
seen.
observant, Anders.
Yeah, I've been observing like
Like
14,
crazy.
like crazy,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 hours
Wow,
yesterday.
4 or 5 people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe not statistically correct data, but it was just a small observation.
But I suppose that it is. I mean, if the consumers
Yeah.
put their contacts to. I mean, if they say to you, "We want Android," I suppose that it could change your developing
Of course.
priorities.
If it would not be them, we don't know. It might already be underdeveloped.
Might already be.
Yeah. So
Every idea
But
we get,
exactly.
we put into our
The
backlog.
value
And
of
if
it.
we get a lot of the same idea, we often say this might be an idea we should do something about.
Yeah.
Of course.
Cool.
So what would you say? What would be the kind of the main reasons why would you buy the B10? In a very as short as you can.
Well, of course, everyone has to decide that for themselves, and I think it depends on what your reference is and what you're looking for. But I would say that if you're looking for a big light in a small package, as I said, in this package, which is it's not much bigger than a camera lens, you get as much light from the flash as from 5-speed lights, 4 to 5, depending on what you're comparing with speed light model, which is a lot of light. And like, I think all profile lights, we aim for having a really natural light that it's easy to shape creatively and easy to make it look natural, which is often a misconception about flash, that it has to look ugly and flashy. So if you want a big light in a small package and you see the benefit in your work to having that power to be able to put that in a bag and just go and shape light wherever you want to go, that's a big benefit, I think. And also a light that is as flexible as the B10. We've showed the flexibility with being able to set it up in different ways, and we've also showed the flexibility with
because you can put it on the camera tripod. I used a Joby when I was down in Botswana. I used a Joby and then put it up in trees.
Yeah, any type of grip that would be usable on a camera.
It even works with duct tape.
Duct tape?
Yeah,
you can use with everything. It gets so sticky afterwards.
Yeah, that's true.
So just be aware.
Yeah.
But also what you showed with the continuous light, that you can use like we do now for video, but also for still photography. If you just want to add a little bit of light and you're perfectly happy with the light that's there. Yeah, but maybe you want some fill and you think that it's too much to add flash, and being able to just add a little bit and also adjust it so it looks natural and perfect. I think that's the two biggest benefits of the B10. And then of course there's a lot of benefits that we've mentioned here too with the system, that you can add basically any light shaper from Profoto and use with the B10, or mix and match with the A1 and our other everything in our portfolio. And even if it's something you don't own, you can rent it for a day and you can use it with that too.
Yeah. And the thing I really like, I'm this app, and now I have two. I can connect more, so you see each and every one of them. You can change the name, so they're called Anders Cool B10 and Anders Smooth B10. So those are.
And David doesn't have a B10.
No, I do not.
so it's
I recall it's Anders, not Anders.
Not Anders B10. Yeah.
The thing I really love, for me as I do both stills and video, this little thing here that you can put the power so you can drive your light with on continuous power. Is
Yes,
that the word?
if you're going to do,
range.
I don't know how long we're going to keep on, maybe all night. But
No, I think
but
people will log out and we will be alone on this feed,
But-
and then
but if you're going to run the continuous light for an hour or two, or
Yeah.
so, like we do now,
yeah,
then of course, to be able
That
to
helps.
power it from the mains,
Yeah.
it helps a lot.
yeah.
Mm.
That's really cool. And then of course this is a small little guy, and I know there are a lot of people wondering if we are only going to make things smaller and smaller, and have you forgotten about the Davids of the world?
Yes, we who like
The guys that likes to bring
like
the
that.
trucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, for one thing, yes, I mean that the Pro 10 is not that old. It is big guy, a lot of power, but they're not all completely forgotten, right?
No, of course. I mean, we do things. But as I said earlier, it takes around 2 to 3 years
To develop
to
stuff.
develop a new light,
Mm.
and we can't make them all at once. And we launched the Pro 10
Yeah.
a couple of years ago now,
Yeah.
and at the same time we launched the D2, another studio product.
That's right. Yeah.
Which
Which is crazy. I mean, because comparing the generator before, the Pro 10 was a Pro 8,
Mm.
and I mean, performance-wise, the D2 is almost as good as the Pro 8, which is crazy.
yeah, it's
When you look at, I mean, recycling time, power, and everything is just fantastic.
Yeah, but I think so. We are not at all forgetting about that. But I think what you will see, and you will see not only from us, is there will be more and more self-contained units like these guys, and also,
Yeah.
also the monolights for studio, because you, as you just pointed out,
Yeah.
the D2 almost has the same performance as a Pro 8.
Yeah.
So you can build things much smaller and lighter and get the same performance from it.
Yeah.
And that in turn, inspires people to do more and try new things with light.
Mm.
And there's a process of evaluating different ideas that we get a lot of feedback from you guys in the comments. We don't discard them. We actually pop them into the R&D guys and say that, oh, here's feedback that we get, and then they all get into the same pot of ideas and it gets evaluated. So it just keep on popping in the comments field, ideas, comments, things you might want us to.
Since I'm here, let me pop in some things.
Yes.
I would like this to be 10,000 watt seconds and this wide and weigh nothing.
Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
that's over, of course, the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Exactly, everything
We're
strives
working,
to
yeah.
that.
We're working in the same direction.
But one thing that I think which is really cool with this one is which is kind of a small feature, but still a very cool feature, is the continuous light that we are, as we mentioned earlier, we are using now with as a kicker and also main light. But I did just on Monday this little project with one of these influencers, and we did some video and so forth. But what kind of tips would you give me if I wanted to do a portable vlog somewhere,
Okay.
and I had, let's say, I have a duo kit of B10's
Yeah.
with me. What kind of tips would you give
Yeah.
me?
Well, from let's start from the beginning. Like if you are using just the B10, no soft boxes
you can
or
give
anything.
any.
Yeah.
I have no.
I think I would say that the most important part is, I mean, the light is beautiful, but still you have something that isn't light. It's also called shadows, right? I mean, if this light is, I'm pointing this to you, oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
But on the wall behind you, you still have this shadow. So
Yeah.
it's kind of important where you put your light, so the shadows are as beautiful or as little distracting as possible.
Mhm.
Like, let
So
me
think about the direction of light so that you don't end up having disturbing shadows
exactly
in the frame.
Exactly, and I would say that if I have my light too high, the nose shadow will be too prominent
Yeah.
and makes your nose to look like it's big. I didn't want to go there, but you did. So that is one thing, to look at the shadows so they aren't disturbing, and just move around your light until you find it pleasing. And I can give a tip that if the nose shadow is on the halfway down the upper lip,
Yeah.
that usually everything used to pop in the right place.
Yeah.
So that is a good tip. But it of course depends on how long a nose you have. If you have a really short nose,
if
then
you're shooting Pinocchio, then
shooting Pinocchio, then you need to go really low.
Yeah.
And then we have the other part, that is the reflection in the eye.
yeah,
If you have the light too low, then it will be kind of disturbing to you, right? It will be
yeah, especially when you
blinding.
shoot continuous light. Right?
Exactly. So I don't think that this feels so comfortable.
No, not
So-
at all.
So when I go, sorry. So when I go up like this, it feels more
Yeah, now it's
easy
nice.
to watch.
Yeah.
And another thing is that when you aim your light like this,
Yeah,
if I aim it straight towards your forehead, like
Yeah.
many people do, you will have a really bright forehead and a darker chin and goes darker down the body. That can be the look you want to have. But if you just tilt it down
yeah.
like that, and I can have a really even light. You see that I'm actually
You're
pointing
here.
Yeah,
The hot spot is here. yeah.
exactly. So don't be afraid to twist the light and see what happens, because you use the look of the coverage so you can get a really even light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something maybe you should have in the next version, like a twist to change the, I don't know.
So what about the light shapers?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you don't have like 10,000 watts out of this, but I would say that if you put on the OCF Octa,
Yeah,
that's a really good one, I think, because it's really, it's easy and it really fills out the whole Octa really beautifully to get this much more softer lights.
yeah,
And if you have it really close up, it will be really big. Like if you're doing a
Yeah.
vlog, as you said,
yeah.
if you have the camera here and you have the Octa here, it
Yeah.
will be
Fantastic.
super bright and super nice. And I
Cool.
would also say that for me, I love softboxes. The 2x3, this one in a
The OCF 2x3,
2x3, which you can do more feathering stuff. That is beautiful. And you need to be kind of close.
Yeah.
You can't have it like 2 meters away.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, this light we are using now, I think it is about 3 meters away,
Yeah,
but we do not have any modifier on it. But since it is kind of straight on, it doesn't create all those
hot spots and
exactly,
Fantastic.
and the shadows aren't so disturbing.
yeah,
And of course the color, like when I do like this, that when I can change the color, please
Yeah.
do that, and don't be so. I think that you should look at the image and try to find what you like.
yeah,
Because it, like skin often tends to look better if it has slightly warmer tone
yeah,
than the ambient light.
yeah.
A slightly warmer tone creates a more
Flattering look.
flattering. Yes, exactly. So I think that is some key points. And one thing you also could do with this one, I think that is kind of interesting, is when you are shooting video, to use for the background, to create, I don't know if this is going to be the coolest thing to do, but you can make like a big blob in the background to create some kind of halo feeling, or just create some effects, or actually it can look cool if you have it in camera.
Yeah.
To have some, if you have short depth of field, it can be cool rings of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff can be done with this, and especially I would say for like if you're doing vlogs or interviews, this is really easy because you can use it for stills and for the video. You don't need to have 2 different kits.
Yeah.
That is super cool, super good.
It is cool.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not a 12,000 watt ARRI
No, it
monster, but it's perfect if you're going to have some smaller interviews, or you're sitting in a cafe, or like now when we're doing this in a semi-controlled environment. And so for those smaller, simpler tasks, it's I would say perfect. I would the one thing that I've noticed is that try to avoid going into, if you're going to shoot like the world championship in chess, when everybody's sitting very silently, waiting for the next move. It is a flash, there's electronics in there, and there is a fan inside of here. It's very rarely that you actually hear the flash,
No.
but there is, and it might get also if for example, if you're in Spain or in southern part of Stockholm where it's warm.
So is the fan kicking on, or?
No, it gradually increases with the temperature of the light
But
to
it's-
keep everything cool.
It's of course it's a new.
But after a while, it you can hear it more.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this environment, there is so much sound.
Other noise, so you won't hear it. But if you're sitting in a
chess tournament.
Yeah,
Then you
World
hear
Championship
everything.
in chess, or so we've had some
Wimbledon's finals.
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's that might be just good to know that yes, there is a fan. It's not.
I never heard it though, but there is
Yeah,
a
no,
fan.
yeah, it's very rarely, but there is a fan, and it might pop up. So don't be surprised if it happens, especially if you're in a warmer climate. So I think that's really cool, and I'm trying to see if there are any questions. A lot of some good experiences on the Salon de Photo, asking questions about the biggest RFI softbox that can be used on B10. I think we normally recommend 3x4-ish.
Yeah, 3x4. I wouldn't go larger
Yeah.
without having a bracket.
Yeah.
A separate bracket on it.
So that's kind of the limitation, but that's still very big.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of fun things with that. We got some good tips on using 1 foot deep umbrella is not a bad idea. Ooh, 1 foot deep umbrella. Why?
1 foot, 1 foot.
That's a kind of a neat thing, because then you don't lose any power in the diffusion, like in a softbox. That's a good idea. From Johnny. There are some questions about the iPhones. We know, and they're working on it. We also had a comment on beautiful hair
Beautiful hair.
light.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, actually, a
yeah.
1 foot diffusion umbrella here.
And
Take
yeah,
that with you. I think that's a great one.
there was something else I saw.
I can pop in a question.
Batteries. People are asking about batteries.
Okay.
And right now, I mean, it's a new product and it's kind of a sizzling hot product. So it's moving off the shelves like crazy. So more or less everything that is produced is shipping out as much as we can to fill back orders, etc. And I know that there are batteries in pipeline, and then they're flying them. Sometimes for some markets which are further away, we use ships and so forth to send stuff. But in cases like this, when it's a really hot product, we use air freight to make sure that we get them as fast as we can, get them out to the market. So, and it will be different from different markets. But it's not a really catastrophe mode, because we've had some products that have been really, but because this time we kind of thought that this is going to be a hot product, so production has been up to gear to a whole different level. So therefore, I think.
Yeah, we're shipping everything now, and if someone is waiting for their kit or their batteries, I can't promise each and every one, one when they will get it.
But you to the left, you will get it.
But we're filling up stock
Yeah.
fast now, and we're shipping a lot each week.
And also, that's one thing that might be for consideration. I mean, if we go back 15 years, if we go back to the beginning of Göran, when we were selling mainly pack and heads products. I mean, you guys, you knew every single photographer that had bought your stuff in the world. But now with the success of the A1 and now the B10, it's a lot more people. And with the A1 was kind of the first really massive volumes, and it's a bit of a getting used to. But I think we're much better prepared with the B10, based on learnings that we did on the A1 launch.
Yeah, we should have spare batteries out very soon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that there are
if
out
they're
there.
not already.
Exactly. So don't worry. So I don't have so many more questions. A lot of good tips of using the LED when you have a mixed lighting condition. So, for example, if you're shooting a lot of cake parties, we have birthday candles, and
I missed the word.
mixed lighting
Yeah.
conditions. So you have tungsten
Yeah,
lights
okay, color,
or candlelight dinner.
Yeah.
Then you can use the LED light to make it really warm and match that light.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really good
And
Good
actually, I could pop in another tip. If you make the light really warm and make it even warmer than your cake,
Yeah,
and you white balance your camera for that even warmer,
yeah,
you know, all the things will become even cooler.
yeah,
So you can change the color
yeah,
of all the things that isn't lit by this.
yeah,
That is
which
kind
is
of-
really cool.
That's really cool.
The business blue.
Yes, the business blue, or the
Business
vice
blue.
versa. If you do it if you do this really blue, really cold, no,
You white balance for that, you get
Exactly.
everything else very warm.
exactly.
Everything will be warm. So you get kind of faking an easy golden hour.
Exactly.
Ooh. Now you're getting a lot of good tips there for those of you who are still awake and listening. Because we are actually coming towards the end of an hour.
We are.
Yes, flown
already.
away. This is a
This
perfect
is a
lighting.
perfect natural
Yeah.
lighting.
Yeah.
natural light
For Halloween.
from the master
Yeah,
himself.
from David. That's for exactly Halloween. Post Halloween.
So I just want to thank you guys for popping in and listening to us ramble and talk about stuff that we really like to talk about. And thank you, Göran, for
Thank you for having me.
And thank
Yeah.
you for creating black stuff that goes boom.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
like
please,
that.
please, and
Please
please,
continue.
please continue. Yeah. And so, thank you, Göran, and thank you, all you guys.
Thank you guys.
If you have any more questions, pop them into the comments. You know that the two of us, we are there monitoring, answering, and we're always looking forward to your questions. And we answer them as much as we can and as honestly as we can.
Yep. And now you know the face of the guy who we will tell all the great ideas that you will pop in there.
Exactly.
We will
yeah.
scoot them over. Beware.
So, everybody, from us to all of you, a lot of love. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Hello. Do you want to learn how to mix flash with ambient light? In this course, we scrap all the unnecessary, overwhelming information that you see online today. Here's what you actually need to start mixing flash with ambient light. My name is David Bischoff. I am the light shaping expert at ProPhoto Academy. In this course, you will learn the three-step process of exposure, how to add flash to improve existing light conditions, how to create motivated light. The three-step process breaks down how you easily set the camera for perfect exposure in difficult conditions when mixing flash with ambient light. Adding flash to improve existing conditions. How can you enhance existing conditions with flash with a natural feel? Creating motivated lights. How you can use the background to light your picture in a natural way. So join me in this course and I will show you how to get started today, no matter what the equipment you are using.